Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that everything you think you control, your salary, your groceries, your investments, even your retirement savings, is actually being influenced by decisions made thousands of miles away. Decisions made not by people you know, but by governments, central banks, and shadowy financial authorities whose moves can change the global economy in ways most people don't even notice. Now, what if I told you that ignoring these forces could cost you your financial future without you even realizing it? This is the hidden world of global finance, and today on Geopolitics Finance Vibe, we're going to take you on a journey through history and modern money, showing exactly how power, decisions, and finance shape your life. But before we dive in, hit that like button and subscribe, because the knowledge in this video isn't just interesting, it is essential if you want to protect your wealth and understand the forces shaping your money. Let's begin with 1929, a year that changed the world forever. Wall Street was booming. People were borrowing money to buy stocks, convinced that prices would never fall. Then, in a matter of days, it all came crashing down. Banks failed, savings vanished, and unemployment skyrocketed. The Great Depression taught the world a harsh lesson. Financial systems are fragile, and when trust disappears, the effects ripple across the entire globe. Families lost homes, businesses shut down, and the world had to rethink the very idea of money and stability. Now, pause for a moment and ask yourself, if a similar collapse happened today, could our systems handle it, or are we just differently vulnerable? Hold that thought, because we will return to it later as we explore the patterns of global finance. Fast forward to the 1970s. Oil prices quadrupled almost overnight, triggering inflation around the world. People felt it immediately in gas stations, grocery stores, and rent payments. The oil crisis showed that energy wasn't just a commodity, it was a financial weapon. Countries that controlled oil could manipulate currencies, economies, and even political outcomes. And because oil was priced in dollars, the US dollar's dominance seemed unshakable. Yet, cracks were beginning to appear. Nations began exploring alternatives, realizing that dependency on a single financial system could leave them vulnerable. The lesson was clear. Money, trade, and politics are inseparable, and the choices of a few powerful players can affect billions of lives. Ask yourself now, if oil could control the economy then, what controls it today? Currencies, digital payments, central banks. Keep that question in mind as it will shape the financial decisions you make this year. By the 1980s and 1992, globalization accelerated, trade expanded, technology advanced, and the US dollar solidified its role as the global currency of choice for trade, oil, and debt. Investors and central banks worldwide watched the US economy closely, knowing that any small shift in interest rates or inflation could echo across continents. Your investments, retirement funds, even mortgage payments were suddenly linked to decisions made thousands of miles away. Yet, quietly, other nations began building alternatives, regional trade hubs, local currencies, and early experiments in digital settlements. This was the beginning of a multipolar financial world, slowly emerging while most people remained unaware. Then came 2008, the global financial crisis. Banks collapsed, markets tanked, and millions lost jobs and savings. The crisis wasn't caused by a single mistake, but by an interconnected web of debt, complex financial instruments, and global interdependence. Governments had to inject trillions to stabilize economies. The lesson? Even modern systems are fragile, and your financial security is always linked to decisions you can't see. Ask yourself this: if such a collapse could happen in the modern banking era, what could a similar disruption do in today's even more connected financial world? Your retirement fund, your home equity, even your job security, it's all connected to these invisible forces. Today, the US dollar still dominates, but the financial landscape is shifting. China's yuan, Russia's alternative payment systems, regional hubs, and digital currencies are challenging the old order. Central banks are experimenting with digital payments, blockchain-based systems, and fintech innovations. Money is evolving faster than most people realize. Every new system creates winners and losers, and if you don't understand where you stand, you could be losing without even knowing it. Energy remains central to the story. Oil, gas, and rare minerals are no longer just commodities, they're financial weapons. Deals bypassing the dollar weaken its dominance and strengthen alternatives. Investors react, currencies fluctuate, markets rise and fall, and the effects are real. High grocery bills, rising fuel prices, and volatile investment returns. Every day you spend or invest without understanding these forces, you are exposed to risk beyond your control. Central banks continue to shape global finance. Interest rates, liquidity, and inflation management affect everything: your loans, savings, and investments. Raise rates too high, and borrowing becomes expensive. Keep them too low, and inflation eats away at your purchasing power. Every decision ripples worldwide, yet most people remain unaware. Consider this. If a central bank half a world away can affect your mortgage or savings, shouldn't you pay attention to global financial shifts? History repeats itself. Trust builds wealth. Lost trust destroys it. From the Great Depression to the 1970s oil crisis, from the 2008 crash to today's emerging multipolar system, the lesson remains consistent. Understanding money, power, and finance isn't optional, it's survival. Those who learn and adapt get ahead. Those who ignore it fall behind. Geopolitics Finance Vibe exists to connect these dots, showing how history, modern finance, and emerging trends form one continuous story. Money isn't just about earning or spending, it's about influence, trust, and survival. Now, think about your own finances. How exposed are you to global shocks? What would happen if oil prices doubled tomorrow? Or if the dollar weakened significantly? Could your savings withstand it? Could your investments? These aren't hypothetical scenarios, they are lessons history has repeatedly taught us. As we approach the end, I want to hear from you. Which historical financial lesson resonates most with you, and how are you applying it today? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this video with someone who wants to understand global finance, history, and money in a simple but powerful way. And don't forget to subscribe to Geopolitics Finance Vibe to stay informed about the hidden forces shaping your money and future. The world of finance might seem invisible, but it's everywhere, from groceries to gas, from mortgages to retirement accounts. By learning from history, observing trends, and staying informed, you can turn uncertainty into opportunity. Stay aware, stay prepared, and stay ahead. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next deep dive.